We are going to do a mini review from Friday. First thing, we actually didn't cover on Friday, drug tests. They're not perfect. Sometimes they say that an athlete actually tested positive or they took the drug when in reality they didn't. In stats, we call this a false positive. And then sometimes these tests also say the athlete's clean. Like a lot of Major League Baseball players fooled these steroid tests and they were called clean. Um, and essentially, if they fool a test, it's called a false negative. The law of averages doesn't actually exist. Don't be fooled by it. We talked about it on Friday. You know, if you toss a coin 10 times and it came up heads all 10 times, 11th flip, it still has the same probability of being heads. It's still 0.5. It doesn't actually change. Now, the law of large numbers tells us that over time, it will go to half heads and half tails. That it will even out. But the law of averages does not exist. All right. Durango High School is implementing a new golden ticket. It's where you get free parking at the high school for a month. Last month, the president of the student council, Jared Webster, drew the tickets. And actually, both the tickets went to Jared's class, his AP Stats class. In return, people thought he was cheating or he rigged the system. There were a total of 28 students in Jared's AP class, and there was a total of 95 students who were overall eligible. How could we go ahead and carry out a simulation to decide whether Jared actually took out the lottery process and did it fairly? So the first thing we need to do is make a statement. Our statement, let's say, what is the probability that the two winners from a fair lottery could actually come from Jared's class. The plan step, this is going to be the hardest part. From Friday, we talked about, there's multiple different ways we could go about this. We could do, a rand int. We could do a random number generator. There's tons of different ways to set this up. For this one, I'm going to say use a random number generator. And I'm going to say Jared's class is 0, 0 all the way through 27. So these are the AP Stats kids. And I'm going to label all others 28 through 94. These are the non-AP Stats kids. And just to show you, this does actually equal 95 students that we're looking at, because I go ahead and I start at 00. And we need to ignore what happens if a random table shows us 95, 96, 97, 98, and 99. We need to go ahead and ignore that. And what we're going to do is we're going to look and see in our 20 simulations how many come from the same class. And I actually have my numbers already all out here. So if you look at the first, here's my first simulation. Notice I'm drawing 2 tickets. Neither one of them come. Second simulation, nothing. Third simulation, sure enough, I have 1 winner, but I want to see when I have both. This 19 and this 12, these are both winners. Gotta ignore that. We got another winner, students 18 and 19. We got our third winner. So out of all of these, we only got 3 out of the 20 that actually work. So I conclude in my simulation of a fair lottery, 3 out of 20, or 15% of the time, the winners came from the same class. So to me, this seems plausible. That Jared's lottery was fair. 15%'s not too bad of odds, and we'll get into what numbers does seem plausible and what numbers do not.